I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It was tough. I mean, Izzy, I know you can attest to that too. Yeah. It was really tough. I mean, we're professionals. We know that we can play this game. I mean, but when you got people that's steady bashing you, that's supposed to be our supporters, I feel like that was a little slap in the face, and that was hard to kind of deal with. But
it was disgusting.
It was really disgusting. But I always say God does not make mistakes, and I feel like this season really challenged my mental to another level. And I feel like I'm going to be so much better next season, just mentally prepared for everything. And I know, Izzy, you kind of feel that way too.
Okay. Now let's talk about Angelreese and Chicago Sky being eliminated from the WNBA playoffs. But before we get started, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Gertie Mac Show, taking y'all time to subscribe to the channel, liking and sharing all my videos. I really appreciate all that. Now let's go. So the Chicago Sky has been officially eliminated from the WNBA playoffs. Now they had a couple of chances. Even when they played Atlanta Dream, that was a must-win game for both of them. But Atlanta Dream ended up getting that win. But that also came with a little drama because Atlanta Dream, they deleted the post, but they had posted this after beating Chicago Sky, and they had changed the logo to Chicago Cry. But it's been deleted, and the team has moved on. But Chicago Sky still had an ounce of an opportunity when they took on the Connecticut Sun. But they got blowed out like a birthday candle, 54-87. So their chances of even having an opportunity to get that 8 seed was officially over. And Atlanta Dream ended up winning their game. So that even more gave them the opportunity to take that 8 seed spot. And Washington Mystics also won, but Atlanta Dream had the better record. Like I said, you see right here, Atlanta Dream took that 8 seed spot. Washington Mystics in Chicago was eliminated, but Washington ended up being 9th seed and Chicago Sky ended up being the 10th seed. Now, the whole thing about them getting eliminated from the playoffs, a lot of people feel like their star players, Camila Cardoza, Kennedy Carter, angelreese, they feel like the team really just quit on Coach Teresa Weatherspoon. None of their star players or even starters was even playing in their last couple of games. It's like once angelreese announced that she had an injury to her wrist and that she was going to be out for the rest of the season, the very next game, everybody else was sitting on the bench eating popcorn. So they were just playing with who they played with. And you can tell that Teresa Weatherspoon was frustrated. Now, Teresa Weatherspoon, people are saying that she needs to be fired. And there's a lot of Chicago fans who are saying that. Now, it was her first season as a coach. So things, they got a lot of kinks to work out. So people kind of need to give her a little grace and give her some time. But people are very impatient, especially when it comes to the internet. And with them having angelreese, they felt like you got angelreese. She's like supposed to be up in the spotlight with Caitlinclark. They both came in the draft. Caitlinclark and Indiana Fever, they got in. So they feel like angelreese, she getting the double-doubles like cheeseburgers, that she should be in. Because she was even in the runnings for the Rookie of the Year. But now the team is going home. Well, they have some more drama going on. And this kind of right here is messed up because Chicago players, in the post-game interview after their loss to Connecticut Sun, Dana and Izzy, Izzy broke down in tears about not just them being eliminated from the WNBA playoffs, but Dana and Izzy basically exposed Chicago Sky fans, their own fans, for basically, not supporting them and calling them out for basically like are the ones who was on the internet basically bashing the team. When you have a team, it's going to be some up and downs. And you're going to support your team. But this situation with Izzy, with her breaking down in tears, Teresa Weatherspoon, you're going to see she came out to console her. And, Dana kind of just took it on the chin. She was being tough about it, but Izzy couldn't hold it back. Y'all check out what went down in this post-game interview.
Obviously battling through what we went through this season with injuries, and it wasn't fair to anybody for what we went through. And just being better the next time you step on the court and just addressing things you could have done better to bring, in the following year.
Dana, how would you summarize this year?
A roller coaster, just like for
the team and yourself, if you care to.
I mean, both, honestly. For me personally, it was a roller coaster ride. I mean, I went from starting to playing to not getting in the game. So it's hard, right? And it's just like, you just got to be better, I guess. Come back 10 times better and even harder and ready to compete again next year. And for the team, I feel like we went through so much. I mean, injury after injury, people getting sick. That's no excuse, but it was hard. It was a rough season just all around, just with the health and everything like that. It was a lot of stuff that we couldn't even focus on basketball. Like we were having to take care of stuff outside of basketball, which is a big distraction. This league is way too good. If you're not focusing on the main thing, you're not going to win many games in this league.
This is your first time being part of the Sky, not making the postseason. I'm curious, like, what the lesson you're now seeing is in that, and maybe it's too early to say what that is, but
as far as
the takeaway, I mean, you were part of teams again that made the postseason. You're maybe not playing as much, but you're still in it. You're still gaining experience and those lessons there. Now you're not. I'm curious what the takeaway for you is now.
I mean, I feel like the takeaway is to just be better. I feel like all around. I don't know truly. I don't. It was a lot this year, so I don't really know what the takeaway was. Truly, being honest.
What was the outside of basketball stuff you referenced that you or the team?
I would just say a lot of noise. I feel like now we're more prepared. I feel like overall for the WNBA, like we had more eyes, we had more attention, we had a lot of stuff going on that we weren't all used to, right? So it was new for everybody, not just us, but I was just speaking obviously for us, that it was just a lot of outside noise where now I feel like we're used to that. We know how to handle that. We don't want to cause anything to distract us. We don't need any distractions on top of just not causing stuff in the locker room. I feel like sometimes you can read tweets and you can read stuff and that can affect people in the locker room, and just keeping that out, just making sure we stay together as a whole and we know we got each other's back and just staying together, I feel like was a lesson for this whole league this year.
Agreed.
Both of you can speak to this. That's an interesting thing, and I don't think it's something I've quite heard a player articulate so far this year. With all the new attention, maybe that's not the right way to put it, but
no, I get what you're saying.
How did you guys experience that? What was the sort of content of it? Like, what was the feeling like? What were you reading, seeing, hearing?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It was tough. I mean, Izzy, I know you can attest to that too. Yeah. It was really tough. I mean, we're professionals. We know that we can play this game. I mean, but when you got people that's steady bashing you, that's supposed to be our supporters, I feel like that was a little slap in the face, and that was hard to kind of deal with. But
it was disgusting.
It was really disgusting. But I always say God does not make mistakes, and I feel like this season really challenged my mental to another level, and I feel like I'm going to be so much better next season, just mentally prepared for everything. And I know, Izzy, you kind of feel that way too.
I've never experienced this amount of hate and harassment this entire season. I get emotional about it because I know Dana went through the same, but it's hard because it should have never been like that. And to go and just want to play basketball every day, and you have people constantly, and if it's online, it's online, but like you now get tagged in it, and I'm constantly having to block people and just people making narratives up about you. It's hurtful.
It is.
And it's hard to just focus on basketball. And I appreciate the new eyes, but if it comes with hate and bigotry and racism and even people that look like me bashing you, you can keep it offline because it's so hurtful and you don't know how that affects people. So I think that's just something that a lot of new fans need to be mindful of, and we don't want that to carry into the locker room. And
Exactly. And to piggyback on that is, I'm going to say, especially for the people that support the Sky, if you're going to support the Sky, support the Sky. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was a big issue. And like, I mean, it messes with your mental. I don't care how good you are or what's going on. You're going to see stuff. You're going to read stuff. But this, it made you a lot better. It made us a lot stronger up here. And we'll be better next year.
You learn from it, you grow from it, you just stay away from it, because it's like, I'm not going to attach that to my name, but there was just so many times that was just a factor and it shouldn't have been, and it's just disappointing that was the case.
What do you put that down to? Where is it coming from? Where is it originating and why?
The internet is
the internet, and honestly, like she was saying, a lot of our fans were doing that, and it's hard because you just try to stay away from it, and Spoon attested to it so much. Just get off of it. And even when you're off it still happens. So there's times I wouldn't even look at my social media, and that's just such a crazy place to be, because I get so much support from it as well. But when there's so much negativity, you have a job to do, obviously you stay off of it. And it's just like people just run and go with narratives, and it's just so detrimental to a team's success. You just have to block it out. And like we said, continue to do a job, but it's hard when it's like every single day.
A lot of people say like, oh, this is the cost of reaching the same level as like the NBA, let's say, as your counterparts. But I think what doesn't get factored in is the level of harassment like women receive is very different.
Yes,
than men.
especially black women.
Absolutely.
Especially black women.
Yeah, if you guys can speak to that difference.
It's just never allowed. I don't care what we're doing. And we had an incident with Kathy, and she had to address like the racial tones that was coming this season. I don't care what we do. It's never okay to spew hate and bigotry and just hate towards players, no matter if it's social media or in person, because it's just detrimental, and it's hard for people's mental health, and it's just a lot to control.
Yeah, it took a toll. I feel like that took a toll on our team. And I feel like we tried our best to not let that shake us. But you're reading stuff and people say you don't pass this, you don't do that. So you're thinking that regardless of if you don't want to, regardless. And I feel like that it didn't help our team. And also that we were a young team that didn't help. But like I said, I feel like this is a lesson, and I feel like this is something that's going to grow. We're going to grow from this. We come out better regardless. Mentally, you're going to be better. You're not going to let those things get to you. But I wish I could say stop doing it and we don't want it to happen, but they will. But it's just something we learn from. And as a league, like I said, this is the first year where it was like this with everybody. It was a lot of hate, but we'll be better from it.
Seeing these two players like this in this video with Teresa Weatherspoon is really messed up. Chicago Sky, I honestly feel like they really didn't need to be in the playoff. They had a lot going on, and I think they wasn't going to be ready mentally to even compete. But what Izzy said about the whole spotlight and everything that she mentioned, now she didn't say anything about Caitlin-Clark. I'm not going to say she did. But we all know this new spotlight came in with all this attendance, all these new fans, when angelreese and Caitlin-Clark was drafted 2024. So game's been selling out, a lot more people involved, a lot more people online, a lot more people giving their opinions. Now I will say this, the women gonna have to kind of take their emotions out of it, because at the end of the day, this is a professional sport. And people are going to have their opinions online about y'all, especially when you're not playing good. Now, I'm not saying people supposed to sit up here and just treat y'all bad, but even y'all said y'all own fans, Chicago Sky fans, are the ones that y'all are seeing who is saying all these crazy things about y'all and not supporting y'all when y'all are down. And that's messed up. But, people can flip-flop and switch and all that kind of stuff, because that's what people do. So they may not be your core fans. But this type of stuff is going to only increase. The more and more the WNBA grow, Caitlin-Clark bringing in more fans. And then if they even get to the WNBA playoffs and actually win a finals or go further deep into the next round, y'all can only imagine more and more fans are going to come. Now, you're right. It shouldn't be a black and white thing. Everybody should support everybody. But a lot of people are placing the blame on Caitlin Clark, like she can control most of these people, and she can't. She only just playing sports. She love it, but she can't control the fans. But like I said, I'm not saying Izzy is saying that Caitlin Clark fans are doing this. But when we talk about new fans, we know where they came from. But y'all get in the comments, tell me what y'all think. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I drop another video. Also follow my social media at GertieMac15. Holla.